Language is more than just words. It is the thread that connects thought, emotion, culture, and identity. But how do we learn it? How do we come to speak, understand, and create with language sometimes before we can even walk? In this documentary, we follow children at different stages of language acquisition and explore the activities that shape their development. In the first stage of language development, babies communicate mainly through crying and basic sounds. Though they cannot yet respond to language, they are actually already learning. Brown 1987 states that starting from before birth or in the womb, humans are equipped with innate capacity by the creator with a language acquisition tool or device called the language acquisition device or LAD to interact. The pre-linguistic stage is the very first stage of the language acquisition process.
Evening B, afternoon pa ba dyan? Buka-buka may ito ni imong mata.
Natuwa ba sa salimdan niya mata?
Ang gani.
Ano ito gain na?
Tanawa.
Salimdan ito niya.
Ano, namati naman si Jao. Animan? No, si Jao. Animan?
Tingkat mo na nabot.
Ang biyo?
At just 2 weeks old, this baby named Vhea is still developing auditory sensitivity. While it might sound like the newborn is making random noises and sounds like cooing or babbling, you should know that they are in fact in the first stage of developing language skills. The cute sounds that infants make are basically their attempt to communicate. While she doesn't visibly respond to surrounding sounds yet, she's beginning to recognize familiar voices, especially her parents. These early days lay the foundation for the brain's language processing abilities.
With the age of 3 months, the development process starts to show social skills like smiling, making eye contact, and beginning to coo and babble. They also begin to recognize and respond to their own name and might start imitating intonation and sounds they hear.
We're going to the moon. Zero, zero, zero. We're going to the moon.
Liloy!
Take pictures.
Liloy! Hi!
We're going to the moon. 10.
Nick, a 3-month-old baby, is showing signs of excitement when his mother calls his name. His hands open wide and their limbs will move in time with your speech. His facial movements also mirror the way his mother speaks to him. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics 2016, babies at this stage begin to smile socially, making eye contact, coo and babble, and start to imitate sounds. They also begin to recognize familiar voices and may respond to their name. They make eye contact, watch your face, and may even start to mimic your facial expression. These behaviors indicate the early stage of social, emotional, and language development. By 3 months, your baby will be master of smile, talk. Sometimes they'll start a conversation with broad smile and gurgling to catch your attention. Other times, they'll lie in wait, watching your face until give the first smile before beaming back their enthusiastic response.
At 4 to 9 months, language takes a major leap. Infants begin to babble, gargle, and use sounds such as ba, da, or ga, often repeating these sounds in longer sequences. During this stage, the child usually begins to understand simple words such as no or bye. Maxine, for example, has begun to switch to echolastic bubbling and gurgling. She began to show more expression in her voice, experiment with pitch and volume, and try to imitate the sounds and expressions she might hear from adults. She is becoming more aware of the sounds around her and recognizes familiar voices. By 6 months, babies can distinguish between familiar and unfamiliar voices and begin associating sounds with people and emotions. They watch lips, mimic facial expressions, and attempt to imitate vocal tones and rhythms. This is where behaviorist theories like Bandura's social learning theory apply. According to Worker and Tess, 1984, newborns are universal listeners from birth, able to distinguish phonetic distinctions in almost any language. Infants are born with the ability to perceive a wide range of speech sounds. By the end of their first year of life, their perceptual system is precisely tuned to the sound of the other language they hear frequently.
During the stage of 1-year-old, the child has begun to express himself through one-word phrases such as mama, papa, and ate. He demonstrates early language acquisition by imitating his older sister, especially when she says the word no.
Kinsay lalab mama? Kinsay lalab papa? Kinsay lalab nanang?
It's ate.
No.
Additionally, he mimics various animal sounds, including those made by a hawk and a chicken. The child also shows comprehension of simple questions, indicating early understanding of language and communication. This occurs because around the age of 1, children typically enter the holophrastic stage of language development, where they begin to use single words to represent entire thoughts or requests. According to Fromkin 1983, holophrastic speech is the child's first use of single words to represent a sentence and a whole thought. This stage illustrates the child's growing capacity to associate sounds with meanings, as well as their increasing desire to interact socially. It also highlights the influence of imitation in early language learning, as children often replicate words and sounds they hear frequently from family members and their environment. Such behaviors not only demonstrate the rapid pace of language development at this age, but also underscores the importance of responsive and interactive communication in nurturing early speech and comprehension skills.
Moving on to the 2 to 3-year-old stage, Bianca, a 3-year-old kid, is already capable of speaking English, showing signs of an early bilingualism.
There you go.
According to her parents, Bianca's dominant language is English. Not only she showing dominant bilingualism, but also being a receptive bilingualism. Bianca understands both Cebuano and English, but she is unable to construct a sentence with Cebuano unlike English. According to Marina 2020, the term receptive bilingualism is used for diverse populations, all of which understands a language without producing speech in it. But deeper in the way this receptive ability was achieved and in the linguistic knowledge underlying it. And lastly, Bianca's also a simultaneous bilingualism, being constantly exposed to shows like Cocomelon and her parents teaching her both Cebuano and English at the same time. Her imitating the song aligns with the theory of behaviorism. Study has shown that behaviorist methods are very effective in creating positive behavior in almost any learning environment. Such method positively affect the performance among learners. John Downing, Ted Keating, Carl Bennett, 2005, Conditioning and Imitation.
At the age of 4 to 5 years old, Ella, a 4-year-old, is showing impressive growth in her language development. She frequently asks yes or no questions and engages in conversations, demonstrating her curiosity and expanding communication skills. Also shows simultaneous bilingualism, which means acquiring both languages at the same time. Her exposure to YouTube Kids videos help her pick up English through imitations, which aligns with the behaviorist theory of language acquisition. This stage typically involves rapid development in vocabulary, grammar, and conversational skills. As children begin to form more complex sentences and engage in longer interactions, according to Owen 2016.
Ano sa'yo mong pilion? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, imuhan ning inamon ay.
Okay.
Inamon, di ba na?
Okay.
Yes or no?
No.
No, I dare you to go home.
Her journey highlights the role of early exposure, interaction, and curiosity in shaping her language skills.
At the age of 6, the child is able to speak using complex phrases. This exposure strengthens their grasp of grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure, enabling them to form complex phrases rather than just simple sentences.
Paibot na ha. Ang hipon. Paibot na to ha.
Sa
Dentist sa doktor.
Lunes,
Sa Miyerkules. Dili mo hilak ha. Di man sakit po. Gamitan man sa doktor o kuan. Pawala sa sakit. Ha?
oh,
Ibang tapapang.
sige.
Sige, gantay ko kasi. Risa ba?
Teresa, thank you for the food. Amen. Taliti kung dulaan na ha. Ugma. Ha?
Basta nga paibot ko.
As you can see in the video, the child is capable of reciting the 7 days of the week and has learned to say prayers. She can recite both short and long memory verses in English. Her ability to express her needs has developed to the point where she can now make clear and polite requests to her parents. Furthermore, teachers and parents often model polite and complex ways of speaking, which children then imitate and internalize, supporting Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory of language development. According to Vygotsky, 1978, language acquisition is largely driven by social interaction and the guidance of more knowledgeable individuals, such as parents and teachers, who help children move through their zone of proximal development or ZPD. These abilities rely not only on memory, but also on comprehension, sequencing, and symbolic representation.